What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and do some technical analysis to show you guys where I see the share price of Tesla going into next week and the future. I'm also going to talk about the overall stock market and what's going on in Ukraine, as we do have some major updates that just came out that could affect the market and Tesla going forward. I'm also going to talk about a very bullish piece of news that just came out that also makes me super pumped for the future of Tesla, guys. This is going to be huge going forward, and I'm going to end the video by talking about tweets from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Elon Musk, as this makes me very excited for the future. Now, before I get into any more details about why I'm very pumped for the future of Tesla, before I talk about Elon Musk's tweets and what's going on with the share price, I do have to mention some very important things first. The first thing is, I'm not a financial planner, so please do not take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're not only going to qualify for up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500, but you're also going to have the opportunity to get a free Neo share. They're giving away free Neo shares to anyone that signs up and deposits $100. So if you want that chance, guys, please check out the offer down below. And with that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, as of right now, we're seeing some very crucial things. Today was essentially a sideways day. We were barely in the red, down 0.12%. But I do want to show you guys something else that's very important. We are kind of descending on this downward trend. We still have that gap fill at around $810. And it does look like we're approaching that gap fill as of right now. Now, what happened was the market did take a bit of a hit, so to speak. It's not just Tesla that's in the red. The SPY is in the red. The NASDAQ, the VIX is really green right now because it's inversely correlated with the market. The VIX is really in the green, and we're seeing the NASDAQ taking a massive hit too, down 1.66%. So we're seeing red all over the market. AMC, GME, NEO, we're seeing AMD, everything in the red, Roblox too. And the reason for that is many factors, but one of the biggest ones is what's going on in the Ukrainian situation. We are seeing some very scary news that's kind of coming out. And I'm not trying to spread FUD or, kind of persuade you guys to do anything or do anything like that, right? What I am trying to tell you guys is the fact that things are still very serious, and this is definitely going to affect the market going forward. So right now, guys, there was that whole thing that was going on with nuclear power plants that caught on fire, and I know that's very scary. It's very sad. Every single person that's involved, every innocent life, they have my condolences. It's a very sad situation, and this is affecting the price of oil. The cost of a barrel of oil may approach $130 to $150 a share. $150 flat very soon. So that's going to be horrible, guys. I'm not saying it's going to crash the market, but it's going to be really bad for the American people, for the entire world. These sanctions that are being put on Russia are going to affect us, and it's having an effect on the market. So the current fear and greed index is very fearful right now because there's so much uncertainty. And as a result, I do think this is going to result in a Fed that's not as hawkish as they would have been, and that may not be good for inflation going forward. So we are probably going to see multiple rate hikes this year. We're also going to see one probably come out in a couple of weeks as we have the FOMC meeting between, I think, the 15th and 16th of March. I'll have to double check on that though. But my point is, things are very capricious. They're very unpredictable. There's not a whole lot of certainty right now. We did have a jobs report that came out, which I think was pretty good. It wasn't great, but you guys get my point, right? Things are kind of getting better for our economy. Inflation is still starting to go up. It may get a little bit worse, as Jerome Powell from the Fed stated about the situation during the latest hearing. And on top of that, things are not in the best of positions. So it's very unpredictable to really predict how Tesla and the market's going to move. Tesla's kind of moving with the market right now. And as you guys could see, we're starting to see a lot of red coming out from the Nasdaq that is pushing Tesla down. But when it comes to Tesla alone, this is how I see this thing moving. Looking at the 1-day chart, we ran up to 855. I told you guys in my previous video that this used to be our support, the 850. Now it's going to act as resistance. We ended up dropping, and it dropped lower, a little bit lower than I had anticipated it would go. I thought we'd gain support at 830. We gained support at 825. So a little bit lower. That shows 830 didn't hold up. We ran up once again. Then we ended up dropping all the way back down, running up at the end and closing at $838 a share. Now, I predicted in my previous video that Tesla would close at 830 flat and be in the red. I was off by about $8, but look, this is what happens. It's sad to see Tesla a little bit in the red, but here's the thing. 825 did kind of cause this bounce, but I'm not confident it's going to hold up for the short term. So let me actually zoom out and show you guys the 2-hour candles. Looking at them, we're starting to see this kind of reversal state that formed. We ended up bouncing off almost 900. And from that bounce, we do appear to be dropping. And we're on this descending trend. Now, it's very hard for me to make a perfect prediction. And the reason for that is because of the fact that the market is very capricious. But if we do look at technical indicators, I saw a flip right here from the 13 and 48 EMA, right? This flip is an indicator that we are on a downward trend. We're seeing something very similar from the super trend. We didn't get a buy signal down here. Let me use the 5-minute chart to show that. So we didn't get a really good buy signal down here, right? We ended up getting a sell signal. So that's an indicator that we may not get that buy signal just yet. And that's an indicator that we may keep dropping. So anyways, I'm just going to show some other indicators real quick before I show you guys where I think this share price is going to go. And there's one last thing I want to do real quick. I want to bring up a Fibonacci retracement. I think it's like right here. And the reason I want to bring that up is just to actually give you guys an understanding of where we have support and resistance. So our next key level of support is probably going to be around the 816, but considering we have a gap fill at 810, it's very probable we're going to bounce all the way down, and we may end up touching the $794 level of support relatively soon. So I want to prepare you guys for that. But anyways, let's just look at a couple more indicators before I talk about where I see the share price going, just real quick. Okay, so looking at the DMI, I'm seeing high volatility, just like before. This is exactly what I had anticipated. We see a flip here, which is an indicator that we're starting a downward trend from here. MACD flip with a 9-day moving average, another bearish indicator because we're seeing red histograms. So I think technical indicators aren't going to be perfect because it's dependent on the news, right? What really plays out in Ukraine. We're seeing the RSI, it's dipping a little bit to about 46.93. So it's looking bearish, right? So this is what I think is going to happen. Now, I've said this in previous videos, it's a little bit hard for me to predict what's going to happen on a Monday because so much could happen over the weekend that could change things. But based off the trend and based off technical indicators, this is what I think is going to go down. I think we're going to drop a little bit more. We're going to drop all the way down to maybe the $820 range sometime maybe on Monday. We'll probably run up and close around the 830 depending on how severe things are. But for next week as a whole, I think it's very probable we're going to keep dropping. I don't think we're going to bounce off this and keep running up. We may keep dropping for the next week to week and a half. And then we may end up dropping to about the $794 level. I'm sorry about that, guys. 794 is where we're probably going to drop to. That's where our support is. And we're going to gap fill probably. And then we're going to bounce off that and start running up. That's what I think is going to happen. I could be totally wrong, but that's just based off what these technical indicators are showing. Now, that doesn't mean every day is going to be red next week. There could be some greens, some red back and forth, but I do see us dropping a little bit lower until we see a good reversal. Now, it's not the end for Tesla, guys. I'm not scared. I'm not worried because I know this is a very good buying opportunity. I know Tesla's not going to remain below $1,000 for much longer. I think once we break out of it and we start running up, it's going to be very hard to get us right back down here. And I think the chart is looking very strong for the long term. Why am I so bullish? Well, there are all sorts of things coming out from the way the business is structured to the different sectors that they are entering to this right over here. It is official. Tesla has officially received environmental approval to produce 500,000 EVs at Gigafactory Berlin, but the battle is not over yet, is what this is stating. So, once again, 500,000 new Teslas can be produced in the Giga Berlin. This is massive news for us because this was delayed for months upon months upon months. Now, here's the thing about this. This could push us in the green. It's possible, but it's very hard for me to call that because of the fact that, the market is not in the best of conditions. So it's very hard to really predict what's going to happen on Monday, but I still think downside's a little bit more probable because of this or despite this. And I'm not scared because remember, this doesn't matter too much about the short term. This gigafactory right here, this matters more for the long term. Think about the next upcoming months, the next years that are coming up. We're going to see boost in their production. boost in their revenue, boost in their earnings per share. They're going to kill it during earnings, and this is going to be massive for the company as a whole. Very, very bullish news for the future. I cannot wait for what ends up coming out. We're going to see more developments coming out. I think this is going to be used particularly for the Model Y. That's very awesome news. Now, I also want to talk about some tweets that came out because right now we're seeing Elon Musk. I think he actually went right over there in East Germany, and they actually had a very good agreement that came out. So the Berlin officials approving the Tesla Berlin Gigafactory. They stated that the approval process it was a mammoth task for us with the at Tesla factory in the city. The state environmental agency has approved the largest industrial settlement in East Germany since reunification. So once again, awesome news, guys. That makes me very excited. You can see Elon Musk was there. He looks very cheerful, and he actually liked this tweet. So he's just reminding us of things that are going on. He's happy. This is good news for Tesla for the future. Now, I also want to talk about this right here. Elon Musk did tweet about this just recently. Basically, there's a lot of people saying out there that, oh, Tesla's going to be involved in an active lawsuit. It's going to be kind of scary for some people. It's not necessarily like that. I see this as a small piece of news that's not going to be too bad. Basically, someone out there is suing Tesla. They're a shareholder. They're suing Tesla because they think that the high risk, high reward payment plan was not fair for many of their executives, as it's worth about 2.6 billion or maybe even more than that back in 2018. So some people are saying it's unfair. It's really up to them to decide. Elon Musk also does not seem to be too happy about that. He has stated that in class action lawsuits, the actual plaintiff is always the class action law firm. They just try to find someone willing to serve as a puppet to represent the class. That's well said by him, very bold. I most definitely think there's massive merit behind that claim. Now, I'm going to end it on that note, guys. Going into the next week, I do see it's possible for us to go either way, but downside seems a little bit more probable. I do see us filling this gap relatively soon because of the current market conditions, but it's not the end of the world. Because remember, for the long term, we're still very bullish for Tesla. This is not the end whatsoever, and I can't wait for what the future holds. That's what I have for this one. I thank each and every one of you for listening. Enjoy your Friday and the weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.